27% reservation, a colonial hangover is used to limit representation rather than expand justice. Mandal 1 was a beginning. Mandal 2 must be our mission. When VP Singh made the momentous announcement, the implementation of 27% reservation for the other backward classes in central government jobs based on the recommendations of the Mandal Commission report, that day changed the trajectory of India. When the protest began, many violent, some deeply casteist, he did not back down. He bore the criticism with calm. He said that history judged me. VP Singh's governance did not end with Mandal. It was a movement, a declaration, a call to conscience. Those who opposed Mandal came from a place of fear of change, fear of equality, fear that the doors of opportunity would finally open to those long kept outside. In the heart of every OBC family who got their first government job, in the pride of every first generation graduate walking across the convocation stage, in the resolve of every youth fighting for the rightful place in the system, VP Singh lives on. My dear esteemed guests and friends, Mr. Shyam, Madam Dr. Seema, my good friend and Mr. P. Wilson, Member of Parliament, Dr. Sanjay, Madam Shrimoyi Biswas, and my good friend Sunil Sardar, and Mr. Jamal, Professor Arvind Elaya, and others. It is with immense pride and a deep sense of gratitude that I stand before you at this third national convention commemorating the 94th birth anniversary of the great leader Vishwanath Pratap Singh, the 7th Prime Minister of India, a man who not only led the country but transformed its social conscience. For us in Tamil Nadu, I come from Chennai, VP Singh is not just a former Prime Minister. He is a symbol of courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to social justice. In our land, the sacred soil of the Dravidian movement, we have always upheld the ideals of equality and self-respect. We revere not power, but righteousness. We honor not just those who rule, but those who dare to stand for the voiceless. And in that tradition, VP Singh is immortal. He did not merely implement the Mandal Commission recommendation. He honored the very soul of Tamil Nadu. His bold decision was the political expression of what Tande Periyar dreamed, what Dr. Ambedkar envisioned, and what leaders like Dr. Kalaignar steadfastly fought for. He stood with the marginalized, not as a political calculation, but as a moral necessity. And that is why VP Singh is not distant to us. He is dear to us. And we are dear to him. His heart resonated with our struggle. His ideals aligned with ours. His admiration for Dr. Kalaignar and his respect for Dr. K. Veeramani Ayya were not formalities. They were born from a deep ideological kinship. That is why I came all the way from our Periyar land to participate in this national convention, to offer my humble respects to a man who stood tall when it mattered the most. We in Tamil Nadu do not merely remember VP Singh, we revere him. His legacy is not something we visit once a year. It lives in our laws, in our language, in our political DNA. His fight did not end with Mandal. It continues in every struggle for representation and every call for equality across India. In honoring him, we honor ourselves. In standing up for his legacy, we stand up for the very idea of India as promised by our Constitution. With this, let me begin. Today, we are not merely celebrating the birth of a political leader. We are honoring the torchbearer of social justice, the courageous executor of long-delayed justice, and the visionary who reignited the dreams of Tandai Periyar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. In an India often afraid to confront the caste realities, VP Singh stood for the voiceless, the marginalized, the forgotten, and he did so not for votes, not for fame, but for justice, the very soul of our Constitution. Let us go back to the historic moment in August 1990, when VP Singh made the momentous announcement, the implementation of 27% reservation for the other backward classes in central government jobs based on the recommendations of the Mandal Commission report. That day changed the trajectory of India. It was the first substantial structural step taken post-independence to bridge centuries of caste-based discrimination in the modern system of governance. It was a political earthquake, but a moral renaissance. Let us not forget that VP Singh paid a personal price for his conviction. VP Singh was under no illusion. He knew the storm that would follow. There were protests, hostility, and even threats. But he stood firm. He once declared, "I am not here to be in power. I am here to do what is right." He was not unaware of the political consequences of implementing the Mandal Commission. He could have easily postponed the decision, passed the responsibility to another government, or diluted the recommendation. But no. He chose principle over position, justice over convenience, and truth over popularity. When the protest began, many violent, some deeply casteist, he did not back down. He bore the criticism with calm. He said, "Let history judge me." And indeed, history is judging him rightly as the moral compass of the Indian democracy. His fall from power was swift, but so was his rise in the hearts of millions who had long been unseen. This act was not just an executive decision. It was a civilizational correction. It was Tandai Periyar's rationalism brought into governance. It was Ambedkar's vision of equality turned into policy. It was Lohia's dream of backward empowerment realized in law. Let us never forget that VP Singh did not act in a vacuum. He was rooted in an ideological lineage that believed social and economic power must be shared, not hoarded. He gave voice to Tandai Periyar's relentless call to annihilate caste, a call that began in Tamil Nadu and resonated across India. He fulfilled Ambedkar's constitutional promise that true freedom lies in not in voting rights alone, but in representation in power, employment, and education. VP Singh's governance did not end with Mandal. It was a movement, a declaration, a call to conscience. The Mandal decision did not just open the doors to jobs, it opened the minds of the backward classes to possibility. For decades, OBC communities were socially ostracized and structurally excluded. With one bold stroke, VP Singh transformed their future. Today, we see doctors, engineers, professors, IAS officers, entrepreneurs, and leaders emerging from backward communities. These are not isolated successes. They are the living legacy of Mandal. But let us be clear, the journey is far from over. Even today, OBC remain underrepresented in top institutions, judiciary, media, corporate boardrooms, and policy-making bodies. The private sector remains untouched by affirmative action. The demand for a nationwide caste census is still pending, and the ceiling of 50% reservation, a colonial hangover, is used to limit representation rather than expand justice. Mandal 1 was a beginning. Mandal 2 must be our mission. To the youth gathered here today, the legacy of VP Singh is not a chapter in the history book. It is a living challenge. You must rise, not just to celebrate him, but to complete his unfinished work. Demand data, demand truth, support caste census, break the silence, confront injustice, whether in hiring, in classrooms, or in laws. Fight not with hate, but with clarity, unity, and courage. Use your vote, your voice, your platforms to build a more equal India. Today, as we gather here at the Constitutional Club of India, the house of the democratic ideals, let us ask ourselves, have we done justice to the legacy of VP Singh? Have we completed the mission he began? Let this convention be not just a commemoration, but a commitment to push for the authentic caste census database, to break the artificial 50% reservation ceiling, to expand affirmative action into the private sector, to secure the OBC quota in women's reservation, to establish a national institute in VP Singh's name, and above all, to demand Bharat Ratna for VP Singh, for he is truly a Ratna of the masses. In honoring him, we honor our constitution. In remembering him, we revive our conscience. As we reflect upon the towering legacy of VP Singh, let us remind ourselves that history does not merely honor those who wield power, but those who empower others. In the annals of modern India, few have done so as boldly, as selflessly, and as irrevocably as VP Singh. The implementation of the Mandal Commission recommendation in 1990 was not just a single act. It was the ignition of a silent revolution. But revolutions by nature are incomplete unless they evolve with the time. Today, the question before us is not whether VP Singh was right. That has been settled by the march of history. The question is, how far have we walked on the road he cleared for us? And how far are we willing to go? When we speak of social justice, we are not speaking of charity. We are speaking of reparative fairness. VP Singh understood this distinction with profound clarity. The caste system is not just a relic, it is a structure, one that was built brick by brick over centuries to concentrate privilege in the hands of a few. In implementing the Mandal Commission recommendations, he disrupted that comfort. He dismantled the myth that merit floats in a vacuum. He exposed the reality that opportunity in India has long been distributed not by talent but by birth. His courage lay not just in facing political opposition but in confronting the deeply entrenched social mindsets that equated reservation with injustice and caste with capability. He took a lonely path and transformed it into a procession of hope. Let us remember, those who opposed Mandal came from a place of fear of change, fear of equality, fear that the doors of opportunity would finally open to those long kept outside. More than 3 decades have passed since that defining moment. And while the fruits of Mandal are visible, the rot of inequality still persists. The judiciary remains stubbornly upper caste. Corporate India continues to show shocking levels of caste exclusion. OBCs are still significantly underrepresented in higher education institutions and often face invisible discrimination even after entering. The central government, despite repeated demands, has still not released comprehensive caste-based data, a clear act of evasion. What does this tell us? That policy alone cannot undo centuries of social engineering. Policy must be followed by vigilance, by mass participation, by a deep cultural shift. That is why we demand for Mandal 2 is not radical, it is essential. We need caste census because without data, there is no diagnosis. Without diagnosis, there can be no cure. Reservation in the private sector because over 90% of the jobs today live outside government hands and the same discriminatory structures prevail. OBC quota in women's reservation because gender justice must intersect with the caste justice, not obscure it. Judicial and media reform because no democracy is complete if its interpreters and storytellers come from only one social segment. A National Social Justice Commission, not just to implement, but to audit and ensure outcomes. These are not fringe demands, these are constitutional in spirit and transformative in impact. Let this gathering send out a united, unambiguous message. Mandal was not a ceiling, it was a foundation. It is worth pausing for a moment to recognize that the battle VP Singh fought is not isolated to India. Across the world, from affirmative action in the United States to racial quotas in South Africa to indigenous representation in Latin America, the oppressed have always had to fight for representation. But few leaders globally have done what he did. Sacrifice personal power for ethical justice. In that VP Singh stands shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. His struggle was rooted in Indian soil, but its echoes resonate in every society wrestling with inherited privilege. Many voices have rightly called for a national memorial, an institute, a university in the name of VP Singh. But more than statues or institutions, the real tribute lies in action. Every time an OBC student clears the civil services, a tribute is paid. Every time a OBC girl enters a STEM college, a candle is lit. Every time a Bahujan voice is heard in the parliament or media, a chapter is added to his legacy. And yet, a formal recognition is overdue. The Bharat Ratna must be awarded not out of sentiment but out of historical responsibility. For in giving dignity to millions, he became more than a prime minister. He became the conscience keeper of Indian democracy. And to our parliament I say, how long will you delay what is right? If India can give Bharat Ratna to administrators and artists, why can't it be given to one man who gave dignity to 52% of the population? BP Singh deserves Bharat Ratna because he gave this country not just governance but social balance. As we rise from this convention, let us take a collective oath to never let Mandal be diluted by apathy or tokenism, to resist every attempt to rewrite history and erase the battles fought for social equality, to teach our children not just about kings and conquerors, but about fighters like BP Singh who gave power a new definition. We salute a man who refused to be defined by the power he held, but rather by the power he gave to others. We remember him not as a politician who ruled, but as a leader who repaired the broken promises of freedom. Let us carry forward his legacy, not in slogans, but in systems, not in emotions alone, but in enduring action. Let our politics be inspired by his courage. Let our activism be anchored in his honesty. Let our memory of him not be confined to anniversaries, but etched into every policy, every protest, and every push for an equal India. Because in the heart of every OBC family who got their first government job, in the pride of every first generation graduate walking across the convocation stage, in the resolve of every youth fighting for the rightful place in the system, BP Singh lives on. Let us leave this convention with a vow. We will not let the dreams of Periyar, Ambedkar, Lohia, and VP Singh fade into memory. We will make them the foundation of India's future. Jai Samvidhan, long live Periyar, long live Pule, long live Ambedkar, long live Mandal, long live VP Singh. Thank you.